Welcome to Loot Fiends Episode 5, Oceans 3.12. I am Ringo, and joining me as always,
Lazy Silver. Welcome, everybody.
And today we're going to be talking about our initial reactions to the new 3.12 patch from Path of Exile Heist League. It just dropped Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we've been playing it pretty much nonstop for the weekend. And initial thoughts for me, pretty underwhelming as far as the league mechanic goes. What are your thoughts, Silver?
I'd be having a lot tougher time if I didn't have a build I stumbled into that I really loved. But as far as the league mechanic itself goes, it's a little bit of a miss for me. Just some weird little things. I think if they tweak it up, do the usual GGG week or two weekend, patch it up real good, I think it should be decent. But at this point, it oddly feels like Incursion with more steps to me.
I would agree.
It's just a more complicated version of that. I have a little bit of an issue with the contracts requiring certain skill levels, but if you don't do them while you're leveling, then you're just kind of boned because they require higher skill levels than you have. Like, it kind of gates it. Like, you almost have to go back and farm old content if you didn't do that the first time through the story.
Right, the micromanaging of having to level up your mercenaries for their skill set of lockpicking, engineering, or whatever really seems unnecessary. Once again, love the game. Not trying to bash anybody, but this seems to be a repeat occurrence from GGG. Is they take a pretty cool idea and then ham-fist it with a bunch of unnecessary extra steps and bloat, and really try to limit how much fun someone can have with it. Because my main problem is that you're punished for killing monsters in the heist, which in an ARPG to me is just ridiculous. I'm not going to go too much into that. That statement speaks for itself. But if I wanted to stealth around and not slay thousands of enemies at a time, I'd go play like Metal Gear Solid or Splinter Cell. That's not what I'm looking for when I fire up Path of Exile. You know, I don't remember a Diablo 2 stealth mission of walking behind enemy lines and avoiding demons, you know. I don't like that, and I don't like the micromanagement of having to level up individual characters. And like you said, it's mostly because if you could level them up on a whim at current level and it progressed with you, it feels like when you first get to maps, if you neglect Delve whatsoever, you're catching up on Delve for a while, like 2 to 3 days, right? Of just ham-fisting yourself through Delve to get up to where you're at the same level of mobs that you are in maps.
Right,
and
it's like that, but to me, even a little bit worse.
Yeah, it's worse. It's absolutely worse than Delve.
It's like Delve, but if you wanted to do low-level Delve so you can reach, or I should say upper level 12, low-numbered level Delve, you'd have to go back and farm early zones for the specific Azurite you needed to progress.
Right, which would be just, everybody would hate if that was the case. If you had to run like eye level 45 monsters to get a certain type of Azurite to go to a like depth 600, that would be just terrible design. But that's that's not how Delve is, but that's kind of how Heist is feeling right now.
Yeah, there's no catch-up mechanics if you neglect it pre-maps.
Right.
Which doesn't make it easy to get into. I haven't noticed. I did restart a second character. I didn't notice because I didn't really check to see if it kept my heist progression across characters. So that could be another potential problem for me, having to do that grind multiple times if I want to make an alt. Just kind of kills it for me a little bit.
They've done shared league mechanics for a while now, but I haven't started a second character yet. I've been struggle busting with the new minor changes. But yeah, I don't know. This they're releasing a patch later today. That's supposed to fix a lot of things. There's still way more things broken. This is a pretty buggy patch. I know they got sent to work from home because they had a COVID-19 resurgence in New Zealand, but I don't know. It feels really bad just because of like the press tour and all the crazy amount of hype and just GGG's coming on to social media platforms and saying, "Oh, this." You know, we had a hard time pushing Harvest out because we started working on Heist so early, and this is the worst league I can think of as far as bugs go. You have
especially if you look at it from the skill gem perspective. I've never really seen them have this
No.
many bugs with skill gems.
ever. I've seen like when you see a skill gem problem, I can't think of the specific one that's coming to mind right now, but like I remember you'd have random double dipping problems that weren't intended, right?
Right.
Which that happens, but you just have straight up skill gems that are like Blazing Salvo, for example, which is a projectile fire spell that until this patch hits tonight still does not apply projectile tags from skill gems or items or skill tree. So it's just missing out on a ton of damage, fork, pierce, chain, anything that you're trying to throw at it. And that's just one. There's like 8 skill gems right now that are completely broken.
Well, what was Kraken and Lance was getting
Gonk effect. It got all the area damage with none of the downside. It didn't restrict its area width at all.
Like I've never seen that happen before.
Right.
And I get the game's complicated, but it's just, I don't know. It was a surprise to me that was even kind of possible, I guess. Because I had just never seen it happen before like that. Or at least I don't remember seeing it before like that, but it happened in a league.
So yeah, you got the skill gem problems. You got heists are constantly crashing on people. They pushed a hotfix out for that yesterday. Seems like overall consensus is it kind of made it worse because the few people that said it fixed it for them, there's an equal person that was like, I wasn't having problems and now I am. So, gotcha. Which is a problem if you do like a grand heist and you can blow like 12,000 of those coins that you get.
Oh wow.
Well, if you reveal all the wings, because it costs like $3,000 per wing to reveal the blueprint.
Gotcha.
So you could, spend like that's like a day and a half of farming. Well, I mean, I just hit red maps, and I'm getting probably 200-ish coins a map unless I hit one of those rogue stashes. And I mean that's 12K coins gone because of a server crash. Kind of sucks. I'm not sure they should have done the whole escape. Or you lose all your loot. It's a cool idea, but the server instability problems we've had for the last like 4 leagues probably shouldn't have went gung ho on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain on that part. I mean, it's going to be more of a problem now than 2 weeks to a month from now when all that gets ironed out. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
it's at the same time it shouldn't be in at the beginning either.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Or if possible, it shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yep. So you got that. You had a bug with Alva printing mirror shards that they had to actually turn off all Alva missions.
I find that one kind of funny.
Yeah, if you hit a tier 3 treasury room, it was guaranteed mirror shards.
From the chests.
There was also a heist bug where you could go into the intro mission and hit the legendary chest and not get the heist item and then just leave and fail it. And since it was tagged as a story mission, you had to redo it. And there were people that got there was one guy on Reddit that said he got 14 tabulas or something crazy just doing that over and over and over at the beginning of the league.
Like in the Tidal Islands, just farming tabbies.
If you're listening, remember, in Path of Exile, exploit early and exploit often, because there's always something.
Exploit, that's a clever use of game mechanics.
That's right. So yeah, this league's I don't know.
It's got some issues. It's got some fun parts to me. I'm really if anybody from GGG accidentally stumbles across this podcast, please do not listen to the next 2 minutes of me talking about splitting steel. And I hope you skipped ahead 2 minutes. All right, so splitting steel is fucking amazing. I don't know how to even classify it. It's not even working with Vicious Prod yet because of, like we said, one of those bugs yet. The damage is incredible. I have a 250 DPS sword and a tabby, and I'm playing it as a gladiator, which doesn't even have that much offensive juice to it besides the bleed pops, which, by the way, feel amazing. But it just shreds. It just absolutely wrecks entire parts of the screen. It's an incredible skill. It feels really strong and really good. Is my 2 minutes up?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. But it is incredibly strong. I'm just using it with foils. It's so good, and it feels so good. In a league where a lot of other skills I've tried didn't feel that good. I guess.
Well, you started with Blazing Salvo, which was like running at about 30% efficiency with everything not applying damage to it.
I mean, that's fair. But I'd tried out a couple of other things, but Splitting Steel just feels incredible. But my 2 minutes are probably up. So, yeah, everybody, Splitting Steel's just okay. I'm glad they're fixing the bug with vicious projectiles. I think that'll really help it out. So, yeah, you can give it a try. It's a good skill. It kind of plays like Frostblades, but better in pure fizz.
I'm playing Glacial Cascade Mines, which is pretty... The area of effect, if you stack area of effect, you can shotgun pretty much like all 4 waves that come out now, but all the damage got moved to the final, the 4th stage of the burst out.
And doing that stacking mechanic.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with mines, because mines just go wherever the hell they want. There's no rhyme or reason. If there's more than one mob, God only knows what way it's going. Jesus Take the Wheel, I'm pretty sure, was written about the current version of Glacial Cascade Mines. And he doesn't know where he's going. So, but when the stars align and the mines target correctly, like on a single target, you can do probably a little bit more damage than it used to. But I don't know. With the Ball Lightning nerf, Ball Lightning's probably still the best. I'm just tired of playing it. So I wanted to try something different. I'll probably be re-rolling. I have no idea to what, other than probably...
I mean, if you can get the AoE high enough, it'll probably be pretty good for at least clearing. It seems like
the clearing's not bad, ridiculous. But it's a cold spell with hypothermia. Like, that's always going to be at least decent clearing. But yeah, I don't know. This league's going to get better. It always does, but it's just you kind of feel beat down getting hyped up for a new league, and then every league you're just beta testing for the first week at least, and it's just. I don't know. I'm just kind of want it to not be that way for once. Just it'd be really refreshing to just have a league launch that was, and there's always going to be bugs, there's always going to be problems, but the league mechanic itself, I would like to not be a problem when it first starts. Even Metamorph, which was pretty much universally loved. Now that was released hand in hand with the Elder Slayers.
At least universally loved in our friend group.
Well, no, I mean, you check forums, everybody, for the most part, liked Metamorph, right?
I'm sure there's somebody out there that doesn't like it. But yeah, you're right.
I said most. I did not say all.
That's very fair.
But even when it launched, you had to click every single individual organ. It's just stuff like that, league after league after league after league after league, and it's exhausting. And I really hope the Winter League is just the league mechanic is solid, thought out, and implemented well from day one.
I think I'd actually pretty much enjoy Heist if... my other problem with Heist, and this is the last thing I want to bash on Heist with, but is that league after league, there's always the same issue of, hey, here's new mobs, and they are retardedly overtuned.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. They hit like freight trains.
And it started with Betrayal, and
it hasn't stopped.
Never stopped. I mean, Conqueror mobs are still out of control. Like, we got to exploit that a little bit with Redemption Sentries last league, and fun fact, you probably still can, because they only nerfed it by 30%, and it was doing a ridiculous amount of damage.
It was like, what, 160 million DPS?
Ghazi had it up to like 280 million at one point.
Yeah,
you're not going to reach that now, because they nerfed the jewels that allowed him to do that, but you're still going to be able to get up pretty easily to like 20 million.
Right.
Which is...
On a Spectre's build is ridiculous.
On a Spectre's build. Like, you're going to be a little bit squished, because... Yeah, but depending on how you build it, but it's just having that every league of new monsters hit like trucks. Not everything has to hit like a truck.
How much heist have you run?
I've been dicking around with it a little bit in white maps just because like I was getting one shot. So what's the point of going in if you can't get loot out?
Sure.
So I was waiting till my build's tanky enough. It's finally getting to that point, so I'll probably start doing it a lot more, running it a lot more. So
you haven't run into the classic trademark, patent pending, on-kill death effects that are horrible in Heist. There's robots that are like maybe 3 pixels by 3 pixels, like little tiny robot spiders. And when you kill them, every single one of them has an on-death effect, and it's brown on brown, because the floor is completely brown in every heist area.
Gotcha.
So it's It's like somehow worse than Delirium before they made the explodey things pink. Remember when it was just gray on gray on gray?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that, but there's like, sometimes you get packs of like 30 of them. It's kind of like the Flood from Halo. And then there's also like a laser beam that can one-shot you.
Oh, I've encountered the laser beam.
Yeah, but it sometimes bugs, and it can go through a wall when you don't even see the mob loaded on the other side.
Yeah, I've had that actually happen.
So, yeah,
once.
I don't know. I'm cool if they just take Heist out of the game and put Delirium back in. I think that'd be fine. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't really see myself playing this league a whole lot. Like, they'd have to really completely redo the mechanic and not punish me for killing monsters to enjoy it. I think it's a miss, and you're allowed to miss. You take chances. Not every swing's a home run. You know what I mean?
I think that's one of the reasons I keep coming back to Path every league is even when the league is a miss, it's still fun. Like, I still have a ton of fun with it. So I just enjoy the base game, and I've got a new cool skill to play. So, like, I'm happy. But, yeah, it's... The league, we'll see how it gets in a week or two. Like you said, they always patch it. They always make it better. So
yep, we'll just have to see where it goes. On the things of making it better, let's talk about a company that likes to make it worse. We are going to talk about World of Warcraft Shadowlands and nerfing the ever-living bejesus out of Mythic Plus loot.
Yeah, that seems...
Yeah, so for those of you that don't play WoW or do play WoW or play WoW casually, Mythic Plus has been an alternate avenue to endgame gear since Legion. 5-man groups, you get a key. It makes a juiced-up version of a Mythic dungeon. And it starts at level 1, and it can go, well, technically it's Diablo Greater Rift. It can go as high as you can clear. So, like, usually you see, like, the pro endgame rating guilds, like, their groups can get up in the 20s, but most people run, like, in the 10 to 15 range, right? So, I think plus 15 has always been the cap for loot, and it dropped at Mythic level. So, like, just for example, on numbers, if Mythic gear drops at level 1,000... and heroic loot would be dropping at like 985. Well, a plus 15 mythic chest would drop at 1000, right? Equal to mythic rating. And they're hard at like plus 15. They are really hard depending on where you're at in the expansion. Blizzard came out and said this week that they are now going to drop less than at heroic level rating. Your end of the week chest will be mythic worthy. So it would still be like level 1000, but that's just one piece of loot. So there's a lot of people that hardly raid anymore, and just focus on Mythic Plus because you only have to have 5 people together, right?
Right.
And you can do it all day if you want. It's just everybody, hey, it's Wednesday. I see everybody's on. Do you guys want to go do Mythic Plus? Yeah, cool. And you can go, and if you're good enough, you can get endgame loot. But now it's going to drop like, what would they say? Like 10 levels below heroic? I think it was 10. So it'd be like 975 instead of 985, and heroic rating is not hard.
It's at least this what jumps into my cynical mind straight off the bat is, oh, they're not getting the participation number in raids they want to justify the budget of the raid team.
Well,
so they're forcing people back into raiding.
I've actually kind of looked at it a darker way, I guess, like a more cynical way.
Oh,
and that is, if you're raiding with a group of 20 people, and since they took Master Looter out of heroic difficulty dungeon, this is all personal loot because Blizzard really, really understands how you should play the game. It takes you a lot longer to get all the gear that you want if you have one raid lockout a week versus running the Mythic Plus you want to run 12 times in a day.
Yeah, it extends play numbers,
extends play time.
Which means you have to be subbed longer. You're less likely to quit mid expansion.
Yep, I 100% believe it is one of those dreaded artificial playtime increase tactics that a lot of games do. And Blizzard with World of Warcraft is specifically unique to that because they're one of the few games that still do a subscription model, right? Like,
oh yeah,
them Final Fantasy. Hell, those are the only 2 that are coming to mind right now. I know there's more, but
also it seems they haven't adapted to the change a lot of online games of doing of, okay, we just do smaller expansions every 3 months, 6 months. WoW has an 18-month gap, usually 24-month
18,
gap
24, yeah.
between its big content pushes. Even raid tiers are what, like 6 months apart?
Yeah, typically sometimes 4 if it's like a jam-packed expansion, but it's usually 6. Sometimes it's longer.
I think about it this way: how long is it between like League of Legends seasons or like Apex seasons or
Usually like 3 months.
Fortnite seasons,
3
right?
like 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, because that's what people's attention span is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to jam one game more than 3 months straight,
Right.
without it having something new or exciting. So when you're a subscription model and you're trying to keep people's attention for 6 months with just shots once every 6 months, yeah, I can see why you would be tempted to do that kind of thing to make them play longer.
Yeah,
But
it's just another thing. It's just another thing that WoW's done. That's kind of and it's yet another alt unfriendly thing, because like if you have an alt that you wanted to gear up, but like you don't have a raid spot, or you don't want to, your guild doesn't do like an alt raid night, you could just take your alt into Mythic Pluses and then have him be viable so that he could go raid if you wanted to switch to him. And now he'll still be undergeared.
right, you're gonna have to take a lot more time, which is kind of what they want. But yeah, I hate just viewing it from a cynical standpoint, but I can't really think of a reason from a positive standpoint as to why they're doing it.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, Blizzard's gone. It's Activision Blizzard, which is a separate company that owns Blizzard itself. It's a different company now, and it's, you know, people keep buying stuff, so they're not going to change for the better, right?
Until they alienate enough people. But it's...
Yeah, enough people are going to have to quit buying stuff all the time, from the shop, from expansions, from game time, to have it make a meaningful impact for Blizzard to be like, wow, shit, maybe we should not be like this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not even stop then. It might not stop till different people are in charge. It's hard to tell, what happens behind those doors, but I hope it does change. I think it's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to 2077, Cyberpunk so much, is that CDPR almost has the opposite approach. Like, I know they probably do some bad things or not so good things.
I think most of their bad rap online is from employees coming out saying working standards are pretty stressful.
Yeah, and that does suck. Like, that, I've worked in environments like that, and that is not, that shouldn't be a thing, period.
Yeah.
But from how they treat their customers, though.
Yeah, they make great games.
And I hope 2077 shatters all kinds of records, just because I hope it's a signal to the rest of the game industry. The game industry is amazing at copying things. Just look at all the Breath of the Wild clones that are coming out. I hope CDPR's mindset is something that the rest of the game industry starts to copy, because it does make them popular.
Yeah.
And it does make them sell a literal shit ton of copies. If you make good games and you treat your consumers fairly, like, you'll make all the money. Speaking of making all the money,
PS5 announcement was this week. What'd you think?
oh yeah, that's got me excited.
What game got you pumped?
Well, obviously, like, you throw up a Santa Monica logo and, like, I'm down to watch.
You talking you talking about God of War?
Maybe.
Oh yeah, fucking Ragnarok. That's a gaming studio that understands what you want, and they fucking give it to you. And I love it. Oh god, every God of War, even the ones that were like Ascension, the ones that got like quote worse reviews than the others, is like, well, the other ones were reviewed like 9.9 or 10, and this one's like a 9.1. Like, oh god, how could they do this? They might be the best game studio out there, in my opinion. Like, they only really shove out God of War games, but whew, god, they're awesome. I love them. Can't wait.
They're definitely a quality over quantity.
Yeah, and there's a need for that. Well, I mean, you don't see a Zelda game every frickin' year. You don't see a Mario game every year. A main Mario game. Let me asterisk that. You know, there's definitely a Mario Party, Mario Tennis, Mario Goes to the BMV, Mario files his taxes. Like, there's all that shit. But
as far as your like main numbered Marios are like Mario 64. Or,
yeah, Galaxy, Sunshine, Odyssey.
Right, the platformer.
Yeah, the main franchise ones. Those don't come out every year. There's something to be said for quality over quantity.
Mario Kart,
yes. Wasn't expecting to see a Ragnarok reveal at the PS5 launch event, and it's coming out next year. So
that's actually impressively close to.
I think they said when they released God of War for the PS4 that they were able to port that engine to the PS5.
Oh, gotcha. So they didn't have to learn a new language, or a new architecture,
because they coded that game in complete 4K.
Gotcha.
For the PS4 Pro.
Right.
And the PS5 is just, it makes that run faster, right? I don't think the PS5 is going to have, like, a big graphics increase as much as frame rate, performance, speed, things like that. Because the PS4 Pro does, I mean, we're at 4K. Like, it's going to be a minute before we jump way past that.
To me, at least, it's almost getting to the point where we're getting into games where we're not going to see those huge graphics upgrades every generation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen.
But moving up to, is the PS5 go to, I know it's going to do at least 60 FPS. Is it going to 120?
I haven't really looked at the
I'd
specs.
have to look. I think
every new console release, I'm just like, I want to see new games.
I think the new Xbox is doing 60 FPS. I was gonna say the PS5 said it was gonna do 120, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, it's something we should probably look up.
I know it's doing at least 60, which is big because even the PS4s were locked at 30.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to make a huge difference to console gamers as far as motion goes.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
Of course, if they have a TV that does it. But
yeah, that's fair too.
But yeah, it's going to be 60 FPS is great. I love it.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly stoked for that. New Final Fantasy trailer looked pretty cool too. In typical Final Fantasy fashion, though, no idea what the story's really about. There's a lot of shit going on, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
I kind of saw it and like, I'm an old school Final Fantasy. Like, if they brought back like turn-based, I'd be happy.
Yeah,
so,
we're down for that boomer play style here.
I was hoping FF7 was just remake was just FF7 with new graphics. Like,
right.
Leave the core alone, I thought. But
yeah,
I don't know. It looks decent. I'll probably play through it. Hopefully it doesn't go too far. Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry feel to it. That's absolutely right. So
I don't know. But I don't know. I'm a sucker, so I'll buy it and I'll play it.
Right.
As always. It has Final Fantasy in the name. Like,
so yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's jump into the what's new. Besides Heist, have you been playing anything before Heist League started?
Just it's double rewards week on Destiny 2, so I'm farming up for the Beyond Light expansion in November.
Nice. How's that going?
Pretty good. We ran the Master Nightfall a few times. Got a lot of the upgrade shards and stuff. And then other than that, no, just been playing Heist. You?
I was playing around with a few other games. Yeah, nothing really jumped out at me. Nothing really grabbed my attention. I was mainly just too pumped about Heist, new league hype.
Yep, absolutely.
To focus. Too busy on going in depth on making a Blazing Salva miner that didn't work out.
Same. Fucking same.
Yeah, it's there hasn't been a whole lot going on, at least in my playtime.
Other than that, last Friday, the Mario 35 Anniversary Edition finally did drop. We briefly mentioned that in our last episode. So you have Sunshine Galaxy, Odyssey, and 64, I believe. I don't know if Odyssey is in that. I know 64 Sunshine and Galaxy is. I don't know if Odyssey made that. But that's pretty sweet. I'll probably pick that up at some point. I think that's pretty much it for the week.
Yeah, I think we pretty well covered it. So as far as the recap goes, Heist League's still fun. You should still play. Splitting Steels, good. I'm just gonna say good. Have a good week, everybody.
All right. Yep. See you guys next time.
Catch you next time.